Hi, I'm Mayor Tim Adams, the mayor of the city of Bowie. Thank you to the ladies of Alpha Sorority for allowing me to speak with you today. The one thing I need to make perfectly clear is I'm not a political insider. I never have been, and I will not become one. I will make sure that everything I do when it comes to the state of Maryland, as you know, I am running for comptroller, will be in the best interest of the taxpayer. Remember that the key role of the comptroller is to be the chief fiscal officer of the state of Maryland. And in doing so, that means we have to watch where the dollars are being spent. And I have to be that watchdog to make sure that politics are put aside and just the welfare of all Marylanders is put first. Now, the things I look to do to make that happen are, number one, making sure that we enhance and improve our minority business enterprise. You know, equity and inclusion isn't just a slogan, but it's something we need to do. And we need to make sure that more Marylanders are sharing in the opportunities that come across, particularly with the Board of Public Works. The other thing I think we need to do is to really make sure that Marylanders are safer and better off, particularly when it comes to identity theft and identity fraud, is for me to be able to bring in the latest and greatest technology to that office. As many of you may know, I work in cybersecurity. I work in national defense, national security. And I like to bring those talents and those skill sets, but also that new innovation and the technology to the office to make sure that we keep people fine. And more importantly, when it comes to economic well-being of the state, I want to make sure that we close all these tax loopholes. I want to make sure that big businesses are paying their fair share. I want to make sure that I advocate the legislature and others, for example, for combined reporting, so that businesses that make money here in the state of Maryland, make sure that they pay their fair share. Right now, without combined reporting, there are businesses that make money here in the state of Maryland and just send those profits out to a state where they pay little or no taxes. They use our infrastructure, they use the things here, and we need to keep those taxes here so that we can fully fund education for our kids, because that's the most important thing we can do, is to make sure that we're building on our future, keeping everybody safe, and making sure that we have a strong and adequate financial future as a state. So my primary vision for the state, as I just said, is to make sure that we become a leader in the nation when it comes to education. We want to get our schools back at the top. We want to make sure we're making those investments. We want to make sure that we become one of the most business-friendly states in the nation as well. We want to make sure that we're helping to grow businesses, particularly our minority and women-owned businesses and our veteran-owned businesses. We want to create those jobs here in the state. And we want to make sure that we're getting that tax revenue from that economic engine, again, to continue to invest in who we are. We want to make sure that when it comes to transportation and environmental issues, that we're at the top of the list on those. Those are the things we need to do, and those are the things we have to work for. And those are the things I'm committed to. And please understand, the top three things that I should be held accountable for as comptroller is, number one, that I'm a watchdog of your tax dollars across the entire board, to making sure that agencies and others are spending the money appropriately and being held accountable for that. Number two, as I just stated before, is we have to make sure that equity and inclusion isn't just a phrase that people use, but that we're getting more and more leveling the playing field so that those who have historically not been able to participate in the financial opportunities here in the state get that chance. And that's something I've done my entire life. Remember, I have 30 years of both business and executive experience of making sure that we get a chance, fighting and tearing down barriers so that minority businesses all across this country have a fair shake and we get a level playing field. I have helped to build businesses for people who look like all of us across this country as well. I have that experience. And I guess last but not least is hold me accountable for being that bully pulpit, that voice of all citizens. That I am that comptroller, that I am that public servant who makes sure that I put you above all the politics and all the games. That what I do is simply to make sure that at the end of the day, at the end of my term, that you look back and you can say without any doubt, our lives are better because Tim Adams was comptroller. Again, I'm Mayor Tim Adams. I have that 30 years of executive experience in both government and business, and I'm looking forward to being your comptroller to make sure that we improve the lives for all of us.